The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Pod-Castaway, the podcast that hides the soul of a baby in the wall just for a big daft laugh. I'm Joe, and with me as always, hiding in his special Tarrant room, even though it's gone 9 p.m, it's James.
I'm reading my Beanos, fuck off, with my toilet roll. Oh, it was so weird.
Yeah,
It's such a weird scene.
it's very round, the toilet roll, brown. And getting mugged near a bench in Spain, it's Plenty.
HP sauce will get to fuck, lads.
There's such a moment of joy with the HP sauce coming up. If you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you want another fucking clip show, you can email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. To quote the late, great bloke from the Doors, Mr. Jim Morrison, this is the end, my friends, because there's nothing happening anymore, is there? We're on episode 17 of Pod-Castaway, Castaway 2000. Every time I do that. And they've clearly run out of stuff.
Listeners,
Yeah, this
you
is,
remember
go
I've
on.
been waxing lyrical about how sad I have been about this coming up. And after this episode, I think I'm just ready for it to end. I think if there's going to be another episode or two of this, I don't want it. I don't need to be reminded of stuff that happened for us mere weeks ago.
I get it, yeah. If it was spaced out over the year, you'd be like, oh, I forgot about that. But because we've watched it all, binged it, basically.
Because this is the only thing we have in our lives.
Yes.
Sorry, lads, but it's true.
No, it's true. I'm not going to shy away from that. But yeah, it just feels very, oh, great. There's that bit about Des yelling at people again. Sweet. Like, it does feel very...
I'm gonna speak on his behalf. This is being broadcast on Monday, the 18th of December, 2000. I mean, they're churning stuff out for Christmas telly, essentially. I reckon we've got a few of these, and then we've got like the half hour where shit hits the fan. There's going to be burning men everywhere. I'm holding out on that last bit being golden. People being dragged off the island.
Last days of Saigon.
Yeah.
Animals turning on Colin because he's felled so many of them. Because it was first aired on Monday, the 18th of December, I've got some programming facts for you now.
Oh, go on.
Oh, now you're talking.
It's
Did
from
you
TV
find
Go
a
Home.
copy of the Radio Times?
Exactly that, yeah. So on BBC One, you could have woken up at 6 a.m. with breakfast with Jeremy Bowen because he had like some midlife crisis, I think, from something that happened in the Middle East and did breakfast for a while.
Fair enough.
9 a.m. Kilroy. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh!
Previous episode, Share or Shaft. Yeah, Shafted.
It was a little bit, I can't remember when Shara Shaft was, but it was a little bit after this, wasn't it?
It was way after this, but as it only ran for 4 episodes.
It was UKIP time, wasn't it, for him?
Yeah.
9 a.m. is UKIP time for Kilroy. Specifically 4:35, The Queen's Nose, which hit home for me because I was probably watching it.
Oh, 50p.
Concluding the drama. Yeah, where they have to rub it. I think Anthony Stewart Head was in that as well, randomly.
No, that was the Demon Headmaster, wasn't it?
No, that was
was it? I
Jack
get them mixed
Straw.
up.
I'm well
The
confused.
Labour
then.
politician.
What
He
happens
looked
with
like
the
the
Queen's
Demon
Nose? What
Headmaster.
happens? What was the point? What was the premise of the Queen's Nose?
Magic.
Oh, okay. So
It's a magical, yeah.
She had lots of coke up it.
I was kidding.
That's why she always looks spaced out on Christmas Day.
She's dead now. She can't sue us.
7 p.m. Question of Sport. Host Sue Barker with captains Ali McCoist and John Parrott. Very reminiscent
hell.
for me.
Yeah. Bill Beaumont and Ian Botham were my era of Question of Sport.
Bill Beaumont looks like the lion from from Wizard of Oz has been in a car crash.
It does, yeah. But when my dad used to make me watch Wizard of Oz,
Wizard
my dad used to make me watch.
Sits down and make us watch Wizard of Oz.
Make me watch Question of Sport in the vain hope that I would give a fuck about sport at any point. The only good bit was what happens next, and it was never that good, was it? Because it was always like a pigeon comes on the pitch. It was never anything good, like a lightning bolt strikes someone or a dinosaur appears or something cool. No.
And if you were waiting for this to appear at 9 o'clock, you still got Ground Force to go. Ground Force with Charlie Dimmock and Tommy Walsh. In this episode, they go back to Drumoak near Aberdeen, where Ground Force tackle a stream for the first time.
Ooh.
Don't
It's
know
a
what
bit
that
early
means.
days of the internet to be streaming, isn't it?
Wait, where's why is it just Dimmock and
Titchmarsh, he was
Walsh?
gone
Where's
by then.
Sitches? Where's Sitches?
Titchmarsh was gone by then.
Ah, what a
Titchmarsh
shower.
didn't go to
Surely not.
Scotland.
2000.
He
Titches
didn't go
would
any
go.
further than Barnsley.
Why would you? Lovely
Charlie
town.
Dimmock's still knocking about. She does that garden show it's on in the afternoon.
She does sing
Yeah.
that. It's quite
Air
good.
Force.
With that
Yeah.
lad that looks a bit like the lad from Pirates of the Caribbean, and Legolas looks a bit like him.
Orlando Bloom. Yeah,
Orlando
he does a little
Bloom, yeah.
Well, there we
Anyway,
go. And then this, and then some bollocks after it. So yeah, there's a little trip back memory lane.
fantastic.
I'll be doing some more. I think it'll get more Christmassy as we go on, and we'll
I hope
maybe
so. Wallace and Gromit.
revisit some Christmas. Yeah, some Christmas stuff from Christmas's past. The other thing I'd say about this going into it is that the picture quality is way better in the end days. They've shipped some proper cameras to the island finally.
yeah. Well,
For
as
the
it,
interviews.
Or they've scrubbed the lichen off the lenses. I haven't quite made up my mind.
and boiled it and eaten it. But the thing was, like, there's clearly handy cams, but I think there's a clip in this one where we see Tanya with like a full rig.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, misheard you there for a moment.
Hey.
Let's go back in time then. Dial it back to 1999. What are your worst fears? Sheila, hurricane. All right.
Or another sister wife.
I can't get over how weird Sheila's face is. So, not to be horrible, but it's the big book of British smiles.
She's like one of the characters out of Todd Browning's Freaks. She looks like. It's probably a little bit harsh.
I was gonna
Future 100
That's a
Things
bit
episode,
harsh.
by the way.
Tanya, Tammy, and Philly all talk about confrontation, and then we get a show reel of all those Ron and Ray arguments. And this sets the tone for it. It's going to be, as Mark's suggested, with his Sum 41 album reference name that nobody can see. It's going to be all killer, no filler. They asked people 12 months later. Ben liked January, when most people weren't here. They were in the Harris Hotel. I finally looked it up. Did anyone else look up the Harris Hotel?
I looked the Harris Hotel up, yeah.
I meant to, and then I fell asleep.
It's had a refurb since then.
Oh, they got rid of the shining carpet and the carvery that's in there.
It's dear. It's quite dear. You want to stop?
It's very expensive, yeah.
I'm assuming it's the only hotel up on
Well, it
Harris.
is the Harris Hotel.
Well, yeah.
Die Harris style.
Go on, how much is a room at the Harris Hotel? Can we all sneak in
You got
one?
the figures there, Mark?
No, I don't have any. No,
This is what it's
it was back in the year I looked this up. It was quite a few episodes ago. I just remember it being
it's not
expensive.
massively important, but
It's a standard room. Oh, could we all squeeze into a double? In that case, the standard would be £358. I think that's per night.
a night.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, this is a 3 nights for 2 offer. So that's for
Ooh.
3 nights. That'd be 100.
That's
100
not
quid a
too
night.
bad.
That's
Yeah,
not
I
too
guess.
bad. We could do that. Oh, for that price, then we could go all the way up to a deluxe for 478.
What does that entail? You get some free tablet, like
It
I hope
doesn't
so.
say what the
I love
differences
tablet.
are, but
one
there's
bar
a
of
picture
Highland
of a lady.
toffee.
There's a picture of a lady caressing some Fosters next to it. So maybe you get her. I don't know.
Is there a
Do
picture
you come
of
with the
anybody
Fosters?
using the what a scoop room for the phone calls?
Oh,
I
that's
hope
not
so.
there anymore. I don't
Could be
know.
a
I
blue
might
plaque
save up.
next to it.
This is where. Oh, I mean, if there's not in the Mackay house, if there's not a blue plaque of Ray threatened the BBC in this room.
Yeah, so there we go. The Harris Hotel. That's where people were at the start of the year because of storms, illness, construction,
And lack of waterproof trousers.
and like the
Yes,
big
I forgot about
debate
that.
I
about
did like the clip of Tammy pretending like she was phoning in sick to work, going.
It was
I
like
believed her
she-
though because she looked the same colour as these walls.
She
Um,
didn't
she
look
looked
well,
ill.
bless her. She had like a big jug of orange juice and a big jug of water on the bed, and I was like,
The only thing she was
good.
missing was a glass bottle of Lucozade with a crinkly wrapper.
yeah.
I thought she was auditioning for a part in Doctors.
Don't talk to me about it. They still owe me money.
I thought it was weird seeing everybody in clean clothes with brushed hair, though.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
Also, Porrig with his broken leg. And
Yeah.
I found out just this year there's been an interview with Porrig
Oh, really?
where we get the scoop on exactly what happened.
Was it
It's
red?
exactly what you think.
Yeah, of course he was.
While swinging from a not very high rafter with champagne spilling over from New Year's Eve, Porrig fell badly and broke his ankle. The story spun was that he'd tripped over a heather-covered hole on a hillside, which, as I read it back, is quite hard to say.
People.
And that's but yeah, I'll get some more stuff from Porrig. Maybe
I'm
in the
gonna have to
next few
find
episodes.
that. Yeah.
This ableist behaviour from Mike I wasn't into though. This him doing a race with him.
The crutch race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were on download this weekend, weren't they? Crutch race. Yeah, I was like, they're so bored already that they're racing disabled people.
While we're doing a bit of Mike, a little bit of a story from the book on him. It's not the happiest of stories, but I think it kind of relates to what we're going to talk about a little bit later on. Two of the advance party, Mike Laird and Trevor Kiernan, decided to not return home for farewells and parties like the others. This is December, by the way. But to stay on the island for Christmas. Without distractions, Trevor had been hoping to get some early work done on the 3 film scripts he was planning to write.
What?
Right.
3!
What it looked like he was doing was like a word cloud when we actually see him doing stuff.
Yeah.
As it
I zoomed in
transpired,
on that.
I was
Mike
trying to
and-
get it. It's like the fucking adventure game with the Grunder chasing you. I was like, what are you doing?
Mike and
Sorry,
Trev's work was cut out for them, just looking after the builders and joiners who were still beavering around the clock on site. By the following Monday, the pair were starting to lose track of time. The start of the week's no longer something that affects us, Mike wrote, but that evening, bad news brought them back to reality. Mike's mother called on the emergency satellite phone to tell her son that Noel, an octogenarian retired Edinburgh surgeon, who was Mike's much-loved friend and mentor, had died falling down some stairs at a Christmas party.
What?
Mum had worried whether or not to break the news to me, but I'm glad that she did, he wrote. The decision of whether to go home for the funeral only took me a couple of minutes to make. Trevor had been listening to the telephone call the other room. Mikey's called to the phone. I think I've shouted at him, ask Elaine what colour her underwear is. It's a standard joke with Lion, but Mike just swore slightly and broke down. And when he heard his close family relative had died, so he comes into the kitchen, I give him a hug, pass him a hanky. He's quite upset, which is understandable. He's been fostered, and this wasn't his dad, but a close person to the foster family. We had a little chat for 2 or 3 minutes, and I said to Mikey, he doesn't like flying at the best of times, well, come on then, mate, I'll go with you. Tell Lion and we'll do it together. So Paul came and okayed us both to go, and Chris came on saying, can we film it? Not the actual funeral, but can we bring a cameraman for the beach tomorrow and have a word with you and Trev? Which I suppose is fair, because we've all signed up for it. The demands of being part of a television documentary were now truly felt for the first time. Chris had mentioned to me last night, Mike wrote in his diary, that he wanted me to speak on camera about Noel's death, that he was concerned from a sensitivity point of view. I said that was okay, and he could ask me stuff on camera. A chap called Jed came over from Harris and interviewed me. More tears. Then he interviewed Trevor. Then he shot the pair of us, bit harsh, walking down the beach. I felt like I was doing a shoot for a gay travel programme. And then we filmed getting into the helicopter to start the trip home to Edinburgh for Noel's funeral. At Glasgow Airport, the pair were met by Cynthia McVeigh. Remember her, listeners?
Cake on the head, McVeigh, yeah.
In the diary, Mike described Trevor's reaction. He said, first it's helicopter, then the hire car, then airplane, now shrink. A bit cruel, I thought. We all love sin. The psychologist provided supper and dissuaded the pair from crashing the Lion Christmas party. The next morning, they caught the train to Mike's mother in Edinburgh. That had meant a lot to Mike that Trevor had agreed to accompany him home on this sad farewell. The father who had adopted Mike and his twin sister at birth had died some years before. An Edinburgh solicitor, he was very serious, his head in books, 2 degrees from Oxford, 1 degree from Paris, a complete contrast to adventuring Mike, Action Man Mike, I think you mean, who had
nice
jacked
one,
in his degree at 19 to get a job. Although Mike admits they loved each other to death, they'd always been chalk and cheese. Surgeon Noel, though never officially a foster father, was a lifelong friend who was a great influence in my upbringing. There you go.
All of that cut from the adventure.
All of it.
That would have been nice. That would have made me hate Mike a bit
All we
less.
saw was them playing Knifey Spoony or something.
They were just drunk, weren't they?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And
I
I was
really
like,
wanted to get drunk.
no, also, what is a gay travel program? Wish you were here, Ducky. Like, what? Like, I don't. It was a simpler time, I guess, and he's
Holiday 2000 sailor. That's what I don't know.
yeah. I mean, as we know, this program's treatment of gay people is shocking.
Yeah,
but
it's been pretty poor.
but that's like a nice thing, and it makes me kind of like. I mean, Trev's is a one joke pony, isn't he? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
but I think he's
Mike's all right. I think
he's genuinely in the right
Action Man
place.
Mike's interesting, I think.
I just kind of, when he was sat there making bracelets in his bedroom because he's got no mates, I felt a bit sorry for him.
Yeah.
He's also got no genitals because he's an action man.
Just got
No,
plastic molded on underpants.
Toby from Leeds, like January because of the beard wearing or growing contest. We can also reveal that Tammy and Ben were an item from the selection group onwards, they reveal. Hence her being there when Ben got the call to be selected.
You
which
pointed it
I
out at the
fucking
time.
noticed.
Yeah, you pointed it out. And I was like, they might have just been local and got them all local people round.
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
But no, James was like, nah, they've been at it like knives.
Also, Mike was there.
Also, Mike was watching.
He just heard knives and he's like, what?
Couldn't join in because he's smooth downstairs.
The more I saw her, says Ben, on a windswept coastline, the more I realised it wasn't going to be. That's a bit harsh as well. He called it off, and it got very awkward.
Yeah.
Well, they were sort of fine, and then Tammy had to leave because of the plague, and I think like Ben was like, good, because it was fun while it was, but I can't do a year of this. And yeah,
she's something about her. I'm gonna say there's something about Tammy that I just, in this episode particularly, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I know she's going through a lot this year with being down with the sickness. Waka waka waka.
Is it because she drinks Sauvignon Blanc?
And then a man being unwell. But yeah.
I swear that's not her mum from the previous episode. I was like, I don't remember this woman at all. Have they brought like a stunt woman in?
But Toby from Leeds was a rebound. I mean, that explains everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because it's very, very. If it wasn't him, it was going to be Trev, wasn't it?
Jesus. Yeah.
Because there's no other...
Also, I mean, as they explain, it's incredibly hard to. If you date somebody, then you're stuck with them. No matter what happens, how well or how badly it goes, you're stuck with them for the year. So it's probably best not to do that. Anyway, on that note, Porrig and Philly got together, which we all knew about by now because it was on Ray's dodgy tape.
That was what it was, yeah. But that was like week 2 of it. And Philly's like, I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it wasn't meant to be like that. And so they break up. And Podrick's heartbroken. He genuinely, he
tells us,
he's melted the tin whistle down. There'll be no joy in his heart anymore.
That's what happened to it.
I've written a song about an Irish guy who falls in love with a milkmaid. Oh, the songs of the old country, Jim. They'd melt your face.
I've got what he says now.
Talking about oh, sorry, go on. Is this what he says about breaking up with her?
Yeah, he says, I've been happy these past 3 months, and now I'm not. I haven't been this low for a long time. It's always hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in the dark.
Which it isn't, because it's the only thing you can see. The light at the end of the tunnel.
I did think that, but yeah.
He's clearly, it could be an oncoming train.
He's not taking it well.
This breakup is going so badly for him that he's taken up residence as a character in Chekhov's seminal play Uncle Vanya.
Smoking the world's
the
thinnest roll-up as well. Like proper Strange Ways roll-ups.
Astonishing stuff.
But no, he looks genuinely crestfallen by it. And it is that thing of, like, you still have to see each other. And Philly says it, you still have to get up and see them at breakfast and lunch and dinner and socialising. And if it was the real world, you could just, ghost them. But you can't, because what are you going to go and do? Go to the bothy, which is the fucking sex bothy as well.
Yeah, we also get Trev and Trish, the other item from the year. Trev just being on it for the whole year in this line of cameo bits.
A horny little capuchin monkey.
Trish to marry me 2 to 3 times a week when we're on kitchen duty. It's like, Ramsay would have none of this in the kitchen. In fact, I kind of want that crossover to happen.
Your patter's raw.
It's just...
Shut it down, Trev.
And again, if this was filmed now, Trev would be out of there for harassment.
Yes.
Because he's grinding away on her while she's trying to mash potatoes or whatever. And is it Toby from Leeds? He's just calling him a wanker behind his back at one point.
We get something from Trish at the end of the year, reflecting on this, that made me have serious questions. I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but she said, Trevor and I got on really well, and I'm quite surprised. When I first met Trevor at the beginning, he was quite honest about his background and what he had done. He was just somebody you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot barge pole because he's Jack the Lad. He's 2 different people.
Is
Jack
he a
the Lad or
murderer?
Jack the Ripper?
Is he
What
Jekyll and
have
Hyde?
he done?
I don't know.
What
He was
had this man done?
He was a driving instructor, and I don't know whether he trained the driving instructor that drove Diana through that Paris tunnel? I don't know. Like, I can't think. I think it was just at this point.
2000.
I think it was just because he was a lads. He was a nuts magazine. He's a beer on a Saturday sort of lad, weren't he?
Hang on, was he the driving instructor that taught Maureen on driving school?
No,
Maybe
you bloody
that was
idiot!
it. Maybe that's what we're missing.
I've been driving in my car.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
We've discussed this recently. I'm sure when we were discussing shows to do. I think it was just because he was a cheeky little lad. He was a cheeky, nuts magazine reading, living for Friday night, sloppy steaks, living for New Year's Eve.
So,
Slop them up, guys.
Not that story.
Yeah, that's what I think it is, and I think like she kind of put up with it because it's attention, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
And
as we know, as we find out,
nobody else.
she has issues. And I think any attention was sort of good attention, and I think he just fucking wore her down, like a sea arch, just wore her down over thousands of years.
Toby,
She says we're just good friends, good friends and writers of Peggy Peg.
Yeah, and the word cloud game.
Yeah.
Toby didn't come here for romance, he says. He came here to grow a beard. And we see him having his beard cut at spring, as per tradition, at the spring equinox, atop an unturfed pod, sat on a space hopper, as our ancient elders
Just
did.
as the ancient Celts would have done. That one pod they turf, all that turf is dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just fucking dust at this point.
That's it. They did that. It died, and then they're like, "Fuck this! No, not doing it again."
Because you have to join it up to the Earth, don't you? So that it's part of one ecosystem. I don't know. And then
together. Yeah.
he's getting his hair cut up there, and then fucking Ben Shepherd appears, and he's like, "Do we all just hang out on the roof of the pods now, or is it just for special?"
Where was this? I'd spend all my time up there.
I mean,
no one would ever find you with your space hopper hopping around.
No, Mr. Hoppy.
Ben's got sexy letters, hasn't he? Valentine's letters.
He keeps them in a special bag next to his bed. I'm assuming for wanking purposes.
And the bit he reads says, just as well you're not here because I'd something like just as well you're not here because I'd tie you down and give you a good seeing to. But what he doesn't do is he doesn't tell us it was written, signed off at the bottom, love, John Craven. No point, when you really should. It's disappointing.
Oh dear! Yeah,
there's so little in this episode.
There really is now because it's just a series of bits, and it's like Vogel. I didn't come here looking for love, and I didn't find. Well, actually, I've changed my mind. I'm in love with the island now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's nice bits like that, but it's no fun.
Vogel looks to have aged a lot as well.
Yeah,
in this last 2 months, he looks about 40 now.
Yeah.
He says.
It's setting him up for the next 2 decades now. The other thing he sort of mentions about moving on from Tammy not necessarily moving on from her, but then she got together with Toby in August, and then Tammy describes their relationship. And as she's doing that, to be honest, I was super fixated on this weird thing emerging from the sea.
I'm assuming it was probably Mike in his swim costume, in his thing, like going out for clams.
It was a big,
but it was just a.
I don't know what it was. Was it a parade boat washed out to sea? I don't know. So I don't know what she had to say about the relationship because there's an invasion going on. I don't know. We get a cut to Tammy saying to Toby, "Oh, you're always on your knees to me," and Toby saying, "I'm always on my knees because you keep kicking me in the legs."
Yeah,
there's that weird interview bit as well where they're going, "Well, yes, we want to see each other outside of the island," and I'm like,
and she's giving this look of kind of like, "Oh, I'm not so sure. What? Live in a room with no heat in the cold?" And I'm kind of like, this pair.
Do I still have to wear the Ben Fogel mask on the real world, Tanya?
We get Mike mentions at some point that we're living in the Matrix. And I was like, man.
He was ahead of his time.
He absolutely was.
No, but what he's saying is kind of like their time doesn't matter and there's no rush to do anything. And I have to wash my car and do my ironing and things. I'm like, well, you just have to do that. Not wash your car because that's pointless. But you have to like wash your clothes and iron stuff. Like, but now he's like, mañana. So them Spanish classes are paying off.
It's at this point we meet Mike crafting what I thought was a blowpipe out of Porridge penny whistle that he no longer has the heart to play.
You can't play a sad lament on a penny whistle.
There's no minor keys.
It's tiddly diddly Dropkick Murphys or nothing.
He says, I felt really low. I wouldn't say it was depression in the truest sense of the word, because Cynthia talked you out of saying that, as we know now.
Yeah.
Gaslighting the people on the island. As he says, he's going to be less anal after this year. He sets aside a magazine array that is very anal. He's got a shelf. This isn't even the bits on his ceiling now.
No, this is just a wall of FHMs, it looks like. Yeah.
I think the pod is made out of pornography. Podography.
Podography. Very good.
Podrigography. It's made of sadness.
On the subject of poddering, he mentions he's enjoyed rubbing down the cattle.
And singing
No mention of him rubbing down Patrick, though.
Is it when they do the bit at the start as well where they're going, what's the worst thing that could happen? And Ray, it cuts to Ray and he's like, everyone not being on the island at the end. And then it cuts to him in his Mr. Burns University spy outfit on the boat. And I was like, fuck, I missed that, man.
Yeah, we get animals and jazz piano. VT's people saying they like cattle that we've seen before. We do get Jules's impression of a chicken society.
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely
we've got
great.
A clip.
We live in a society.
I can probably do one, but we get him saying hello to the pigs and all the baby pigs. We get to meet Scruffy, Scrappy.
Scraggy.
We get to meet Scraggy.
From what, 4 or 5 episodes back we talked about Scraggy? We were ahead of the curve, the book.
Which was nice. Well, we knew all of this stuff that's mentioned in this episode, like it was a big reveal. And I was like, read the book, you already know, son.
So Scraggy brought them back together because they'd separated and they got back to. I don't know, they're like the Ross and Rachel of the series, aren't they?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, they had a lamb to save their relationship, which you should never do.
Philly just wants to be single and nobody commenting on it. Nobody gave a fuck in the first place.
I don't know. I think there's gossipy people, but yeah.
Oh, on the island, absolutely, yeah. They split properly in June, and we can tell whose idea it was from the state of Porrig afterwards. But this is where we get the explanation of you can never really get away from your ex. It sounds like hell, to be honest. Another rift we knew nothing about, Philly and Tanya. There was a whole rivalry there or something.
Yeah, there was a weird bit. And again, it was that thing of I think Tanya was never fully assimilated into the group. She was always going to be an outsider.
Yeah, she's fallen out with everybody because I think she just doesn't have the boundaries. I think the problem is everyone thinks that there should be boundaries. I'm shutting the door, I'm going away, and she's like, no, I have to film it all.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's Ray, and he's just filmable.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
I've got a camera. I'm filming you. No, I'm not fucking filming.
Trapped by my will. Yeah. But again, they should have
says that some of the filming was incredibly unique, and she means that's Ray, isn't it?
But what they should have done was just have her have a fucking balaclava on and have her be a nobody, a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
What it should have been, because everyone hates her because she's been there at every single thing, and I know that's her job, but she's never been fully accepted and it's kind of sad because I think she came into it as a thing, and they went, "You've got experience operating a camera. Boom, you're filmographer now." And it kind of, but she, like you said a couple of weeks back, there's nout to her. It's my son's a box. There's just nothing there. It's just fair enough.
I'll tell you what's a shit job: toilets. Toby takes us through it.
Poo knocking.
See so much shit. They're trying to fill up this episode with more shit than I ever thought I'd see. Even the shitty stick that he carries from toilet to toilet like a knight's lance. It's got shit on the end of it.
When he does that, is that his mum that was there?
No, that's Monica.
Because he refers to her as mum.
I think he calls her Mon.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Monica. So you'll remember, listeners, Monica is not featured in this show.
At all.
At
That's why I
all.
didn't recognise her.
And
Yeah, it's
also,
Monica.
her status is as the mother of Kira, whose
of
parentage must be reaffirmed.
Right, that makes...
I don't know why.
I thought it might have been during Visitors Week. I thought, why would they make Toby from Leeds' mum?
No, because it was her turn, and drunkenly he agreed to do it in exchange for some chocolate.
Chocolate, which he then used to bribe Jules. She'll do anything for a bit of Toblerone, apparently.
The sweet substance most reminiscent of turds. So.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah.
But again, and we got the cut back to them at the training centre all those years ago with when Ron was still there and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's an episode of bits. This really,
yeah.
That we already, and again, if this was interspersed throughout all the awful stuff early on,
yeah,
it would have been more balanced. It would have been better. It would have been less depression,
exactly
and then now
Rachel
just
said.
boredom.
Exactly the same. Why didn't we have some more interesting stuff about the people at the beginning? As and when, and then surely they would have gone, fuck it, people love this, let's put more episodes on instead of going, let's put it on in June and then we'll have one episode in October and then we'll have 5 episodes in December.
The race war, let's have a whole episode dedicated to that.
Let's have 3 episodes about Ron, whether or not he's going to leave, like the fucking Clash.
Yeah, because it's sponsored by, I don't know, Doors or something.
Nice.
I genuinely think they thought we need a hero and a villain in this. We need that's
and it didn't need that.
The other people that are there.
What was that? Sponsored by Doors?
Yeah.
Well, that's
some
going in
doors.
sponsorship.
Smashing, slamming doors all the time.
But yeah, they went, right, we need Ron's the villain and Ben's the good guy and everyone else is just actors in their play. But it's not about that. It was community. Remember?
Who would have thought that they would cut some drama? Because we get this whole thing about, wasn't Peter a shit?
Oh, Peter is not a bastard. And he goes, oh, thank you. Which is
Gwyn
great.
clashes with him over and over again. He tries to interrupt. And we know that much. What we didn't know is that Peter made a determined effort with them. And we get Pat just saying no to his face.
The most awkward doorstep conversation I've had since last week when I said to a woman, you cannot leave that fridge out the front. You need to take it back to the garden.
Yeah, Pat's like, doesn't want to talk to you. She's like, just go away. And he's like, well, will she want to talk later? And Pat's like, I don't fucking know. Like, just leave, Peter. You're making it worse. And he does make it worse because she throws some tepid coffee on him.
He does, yeah. It doesn't matter that it was cold.
3 weeks later, at a meeting about the implementation of rules, when Gwyneth threw a cup of coffee over Peter, and I laughed out loud at that. Not at the meeting about the implementation of rules.
The fucking meetings, man. It must have been hell, them. Because no one enjoyed them. Trev falls asleep in one of them. I think everyone just looked bored. And it's... Who is it who says it? They're like, it's everyone waiting to say their piece and then not listening to anyone else.
That sounds like a lot of work meetings I've been in.
Yeah, it's old stuff like that. But again, I kind of feel...
Most interesting thing about this, though, is Sheila saying, all Peter said was that he was prepared to sign the document. What's this now? The Treaty of Gwyn.
The Treaty?
The Pact.
It's fucking full of pacts. Yeah, I don't know what that was, whether it was he'd drawn up like a work rotor or something. I don't know, because Peter... I don't know. I flip-flop on Peter a lot because he seems like an all right guy, but he just goes about it in the most maniacal way. Like, there's no need to be such a prick to people. He's obviously got like a superiority complex because he's a university lecturer or something. But it could be.
I should be quieter, more measured, and more withdrawn. And I thought, fuck, Peter, you and me both, mate.
Well, he says quiet and then more silent. And I was like, that means the same thing, Peter, doesn't it? Really? Yeah.
So they avoided each other for 3 months up until August, I'm guessing. And
which way around the island are you walking? Clockwise? Well, I'm not going to walk that way.
I said, I'd really like an apology. And she said, I'm not going to give one to you ever. I like that.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know this was the catalyst for them leaving, possibly Gwyn and Pat leaving.
Yeah, because it was all very rushed, and it was at the end of...
And it was kind of... It was in the kind of the Ron and the other family that left kind of time, wasn't it? It was there.
Carries.
That's right.
What happened at once?
It just felt like they went, oh fuck, everyone's going
but
bang
if
everyone.
If you're doing this for I don't know, narrative reasons. Spread that stuff out with some of the other stuff we're getting now.
Yeah.
You had a
You know what
year
I mean?
to do
You
this.
can still do
Oh,
that.
also,
the weather's the same from January to fucking June, so you can just do that throughout.
One good day out of 12. But also, I like the fact that when Gwen was doing her bits to camera, she was called a food operative and not a dinner lady.
Oh, was she? Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that. That's great. That's the big changes. That's what happens.
Yeah.
We
But
get a bit on exploration now. Mike's holiday to the western tip of the island, where he makes a hovel for himself.
Yeah.
I liked the stop motion morph style thing of them building the thing, and I was like, "Nah, you've built a fucking shit shed and then put turf on it." Like,
Yeah.
I'm
And
on
the
holiday.
saltire
Oh, yeah.
blamed the western tip for Scotland, which had already claimed it.
Yeah, it was, has been for decades.
Yeah, and I was like, I've gone on holiday for
Yeah, I
2
like
weeks, and I was like,
2 weeks.
yeah, he took 2 weeks off to go and live up in his shed, like write his
It's no
screenplay.
wonder the rest of them
Wank.
are fucking rowing about rotors. This is
Yeah.
happening.
Well, but apparently, is this not where we get everyone could have like a weekend in the bothy if
In the
they
Buffy,
wanted?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
a trip to the woods or something.
Pat says there's a nice beach nearby. It's quite nice. Ben Fogel shows us around it. Brilliant, he says, opening the door on several crates and a burnt-out washing machine.
Oh, is
Here's
it the
a-
burnt-out washing machine from the early in the year? When it
No, that
stopped
was an
working?
oven. That was an oven. Oh, the washing.
The washing machine. They
washing
had to
machine
stir everything
burnt
with a
out.
stick.
Yeah, because they
I
filled
think
it
it
full
might
of
be,
sand. No one's dragging that 3/4 of a
Sand
mile
and
to the
kelp
bottom.
wine.
It's got a big net as well. that
It's
they can
got
use
it's
to
got a
catch
hammock,
deer.
and then it's got a sex hammock.
Is it in the Hammock district?
So so Tammy and Ben can use the big net, and Mike can just sit in the other hammock.
The Cuck hammock.
I was going to say it's the equivalent of the Cuck chair in a Premier Inn.
We get some nice bits of the natural arch that Joe mentioned earlier.
I
And then there's-
love the rock art.
It's
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
who doesn't?
It's a
It's
beautiful thing.
It's almost as beautiful as the Mad Monk's ruin, which they
Oh
glossed
yeah,
over.
yeah.
What's that about then?
I don't know. Because again, I was like, oh fuck, we've got all these helicopter shots. Bang them in this episode because there's
Yeah.
loads of just sweeping stuff of the island, and
They've murdered all the deer, so we can't use that one again.
they're all protected now. They've sent out a Scotland wildlife guy to protect the deer against Des and his gun fetish.
Tanya mentions that she hides in a cave like she's about to descent somebody or whatever's going on there.
There's a small cave just round the corner that I like to hide in and watch the sun.
I like to hide in away from all my friends.
Oh, but I like the fact that they've all. I mean, there's nothing to do, is there really? So they've had to explore. But there's them ruined, the ruined black houses. I think they
Yeah.
called them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
The
There's
weird
also the
island.
Dun of the Dun
Is
of
that
the
what it's called?
Loch,
Dun of the Loch.
the Lord
Yeah.
of the Flies Island with the Stepping Stone Causeway
Yeah.
that looks rad.
And,
It
and
looks
Roger's really normal here and quite sweet. And he says, and we,
Yeah.
we would use this. And there's footage of him and one of the fucking little
Cuthbert,
shit childs.
yeah.
And it's nice
Buttons.
and normal and it's sweet. And I
Yeah.
kind of wish
Yeah,
there'd
but
been a
he's
little bit
swimming
more
in my
Roger
drinking water. The dirty get doing little wheeze in there.
Here. Ket it up.
Yeah. But again, how did they let him get on? Because that's clearly where Lofty's living, on that little island. He's got all his meat in that water. Like,
Covered his face in mud like in Predator.
It looks like, again, like there's the bit where they're all stood watching the sun go down, and it looks beautiful. And it would be one of those things that would attach you to these people, even though they're all fucking idiots. Like you'd feel a common sense of like, this is a beautiful thing that no one but us is ever going to get to see. And I liked that, but then.
I still think they could have done a thing with Mike going off around the island. If they'd have done this today, they'd have a bit with him going off around the island, exploring sites, doing what he loves, coming back where something new's happened at the community, and then you get all the backstory on that. That would have been good.
Or, hear me out, they do what Tony Hawk did around the island with a fridge, but with a washing machine. Tony
Yes, you
Hawk,
see
not the
the King of the
skateboarding man,
Gypsies.
the comedian,
Oh, right, okay.
went round the
Yeah,
island
yeah.
with a portable fridge for one of those
It's
books.
a great book.
It's a good book. It's a
such
good
fun
read,
book.
yeah. But they could have had Mike do that with the burnt out washing machine, just dragging that up Black Pipe Beach.
What have you learned? Ron has learned to hate meetings. All these retconned in scenes of Monica. She's there chairing the meeting as Ron's having a go. She's there hanging around the men's toilet. I half expected to see her talking down Ray during the blackmailing. Whoa, Ray, if you start to leave, it's going to have a domino effect, man. And she's been nowhere throughout all of this. And
No,
suddenly
who
crops
is
up.
she? Yeah, who is she? I don't know who
She
she
married
is.
Warren. Where's he gone?
Where's he?
Been
I haven't
ages.
seen anything of Warren.
He could be one of the Tarrant 5, but they've never mentioned that.
Could be, yeah.
If we don't, because when we first was reading this, and we haven't mentioned it, but I don't think it's ever going to come up now. There were 5 people who refused to participate. I don't know at what point in the thing they shut down, or if it was from day one or whatever. But I'm assuming it's these people who we've never seen, and they're just in the background of shots and stuff. But they named themselves the Tarrant 5. They took over one of the pods and created their own flag, which I need to see, because I'm assuming it's just going to be like when Lisa's Florida. It's just going to be.
She's not a state; she's a monster.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's Warren. No, because even Warren did a bit.
So just
going
going through the list of people I've got in my book. I will assume it's Hilary Freeman, R.I.P. to the island. Yeah, Warren, Monica, parents of Kira. And that's pretty much, well, possibly Kira. Yeah, I don't think she had much say in it, but that's possibly it.
I said
because everyone else we know and
I've seen,
love, yeah.
But I said
we haven't really seen that much of Peter recently. Like, it's all been stock footage stuff of earlier in the year. Maybe
Peter could have succeeded. Yeah,
I mean, he's in the pod, isn't he? I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep that ticking over, because if something's named the Tarrant 5, there's guns to be a reason.
Guns to be evidence of it. Yeah,
I'll see if I can find something in the little bit of the book I haven't read. Celebrations
are good, especially birthdays. At Tanya's party, though, Trev and Trish didn't even bother to turn up.
Going at it like knives. Yeah.
Everyone hates Tanya, though. That's what it is.
Why they went? It's Tanya's. It's a special birthday for Tanya. Why? What was special?
No,
about
I think it's special for everybody. Is what's said. They said,
they said
make the birthday special for everybody.
I think it was Tammy said like, oh, well, the birthdays are great, but I'm sure Lindsay goes, but Tanya's one is extra special this year, and I was like, is she? Why?
She's like 25, I think. 26.
Tell me why it is, and it looks.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just kind of like it's a really good party.
It looks
fun. Even Philly turned out for it. Even Philly turned out, and she fucking hates her.
Yeah,
you can see her there despondently eating a cake in the corner.
I'm not going to turn away free cake.
No,
having to just shit they eat regularly. Like a cake would be a welcome. I mean, I imagine the cake's fucking horrible at all.
Yeah, probably made out of seaweed and sand and stuff.
But the reason they're not there is because they're in love or something. And she says it was like Fantasia in here, and I was like, "What? That bit where all the dinosaurs die?"
Oh, I thought A Night on Witch Mountain.
That's also really good. Yeah.
No, I think she meant.
I just had kitchen utensils dancing around. I don't know. It's all very nice and everything.
Hacking a broom to death. Speaking
Why
of
are they
brooms,
writing Peggy Peg? I've put in a series of little bubbles. Are they brainstorming it or something?
I think it was supposed to be like a plot outline. But
that's not how you outline a plot.
No, you have a beginning, middle, and end. You don't have. It's not a choose. They could have been choose your own adventure books. We don't know.
No.
Each bubble had about 500 words in it.
Yeah, I couldn't
way
get
too small to actually read. One of them was split into 3 as well, so that's extra. Like I don't know.
Is it the conjunction of the spheres from The Witcher? Is that what they've come up with? I don't know. Philly and Purrig are back together at some point again. He's learned to chill out and take the relationship easy with the help of a 2-litre bottle of Strongbow that he's got just off
man. Drinking it out of a jam jar because he's fancy. It's like that Foster's advert. And again, I think I quite like this because you can see like the sparks back in Podrick, and he's like, I've got so many fucking songs to sing now. I'm gonna have to get my tootie horn back off Mike, because he's just been shooting penguins with it with his shells. But yeah, it's nice, and it's my one annoying thing about this is that does Philly ever finish that fucking sunflower behind her?
I've never noticed it
because I'm obsessed with it because you can tell what time when in the year it was filmed by how much work she's done on it, and even towards the end of this, there's still loads. Like, what were you doing? You get up in the morning, you feed the cows, and then the rest of the day's yours. Finish the fucking sunflower.
Going to take it back home with you. People anyway line up to say that they're happier now than when the project started. And then we get like a really awkward bit at the end with Trev going, "Will you marry me?" Like, and Trish is like, "Yeah, no, but I'm not asking, am I?" It's like,
so weird. So
what?
Weird.
Is that an actual proposal? What's just happened? I don't know.
No, I think that's their running joke, isn't it? Because
but the running joke is always that she'd say no, and then she just says yes, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm not asking."
Yeah, he's quit. Abort. I don't want to marry her, innit? Weird eyes. Yeah. But then, I think that's the next episode. But yeah, it's. I don't know. Like they all knew. Why they hid it for so long? Like this was the big reveal that anyone gave a fuck about. Right.
Yeah.
Also,
but
Ron aggressively bouncing that child.
Yes.
Didn't like it.
Oh, meetings. Ron hates meetings, but so does Mike. Oh, meetings are so pants. And I thought, oh, it's such a 2000 thing to say.
Yeah,
Mike.
pants. But let's bring it back.
Pants.
Yeah. That's it, isn't it? I don't think there's anything else
Yep, that's
in the episode. It's just a series of stuff we already knew with a little bit of extra information thrown in.
Mhm.
Podrick and Philly, fucking Trev and thing, and like the only interesting bit that was Ben and Tammy, which we knew anyway.
Also, the hints at Trev's dark past, which I want to know more about.
Yeah, to be fair, I reckon.
Maybe I don't.
Maybe he's Trevor Jordash. References for nobody. Yeah, that's well, again. I think there's like one more proper episode, and then I think there's like a going home, seeing them back at home bit.
Okay.
But I said I've watched the next one, and it's more of this.
Okay.
It's more of just things from the year, which we've already seen.
Get in the water, or I'll kiss your daughter. Drinking from a puddle, giving her a cuddle. Nasty.
What a fly just does, just lands on a big turd. It's got hairy legs and it regurgitates 4 times every minute. So it's gobbling up, craps all over it, flies into camp, lands on your sausage, does a little dance, regurgitates. You may as well dip your sausage in that turd.
I want that on one of those live, love, laugh things for education. Does a little dance.
It needs to be written on somebody's large hand.
No, like when bees come back and they're like, we found honey. It's just him with shit flies. I mean, at least he's not going on about water. I hope as well at the end of it, we get Lofty giving like the thumbs up to those that have done well. And the thumbs
Lofty's
down.
moved on. Lofty's
selling his knives down the covered market now.
He's in Panama liberating some rebels.
I was going to go for Nicaragua.
Well, yeah.
How weird is that? Yeah.
It's all Central America, isn't it?
Doing something weird to something that doesn't belong there, like a jaguar or something. I don't know.
Or I'll kiss your jaguar. Yeah,
eliminating an entire species of animal because he was hungry. Yeah. That's that. Not long to go now. If you have an idea for what we should do next, I know that Dean has mentioned one of those VH1 dating programs that is all on, I think on YouTube, so we might. But yeah, that's that. Your favourite lines from the episode, if there is any.
All that Peter said was that he was prepared to sign the document.
Yeah.
Peter is not a bastard. Oh, thank you.
Going to be my other one.
Say goodbye, boys and girls.
Bye.
Who knows what the other lads were called in the Carpenters? No idea. Jesus.